Hi guys, welcome. I've missed you all. Thought I'd do the recipe myself this time so that I could interact with you a little. What we're doing today is a pumpkin cake roll. Now this is made in a jelly roll style, which is kind of neat. It's a sponge cake. So first thing you need to do is you need to get your ingredients and things ready. That's called mise en place. It's used in all restaurants and bakeries and things like that. Mise en place. So what I have here is 3 eggs. All right. So you're going to break your 3 eggs into your bowl. Try not to get any shells in there. Okay, and then you need to beat these, and that's part of your sponge cake recipe, is beating them well. They're getting a little bit lighter and a little bit fluffier. Which is what you were aiming for, the light fluffiness. We'll just set that aside for now. And meanwhile, we'll get our dry ingredients ready. Now we have 185 mils of flour, so if you're not sure how to get 185, go 3 quarter cups and then 2 tablespoons. Okay, and that'll get, or 1 teaspoon, that'll get you your 3/4 of a cup. And it says to sift it, so I'm going to just do a little sifting, not a lot. But the other thing I'm going to add is all of my spices in here, and that's so that they all get combined together, so that you don't have lumps of spices anywhere. It's all just combined together. It also gives it a lighter, fluffier taste in the end. Now in these spices I have ginger, I have cloves, I have nutmeg, and I have cinnamon. So those are the ones that make this just a dessert that everybody loves. It's one of the cakes that we do in the school in foods class that everybody says, "Ooh, I don't like pumpkin," and then the minute they taste it, there's not a drop left for me to take home to my poor husband. Okay, so that's sifted together. Now we're going to gently, notice gently, put these sifted ingredients into the eggs. And I'm just going to unplug that because I don't need it anymore. Okay, now the reason we're doing this gently is because we don't want to take all of that light and fluffiness that we put in the eggs and in the flour. We don't want to take all of that away by being rough with it. So we're just being very gentle, mixing it together. You can see it's starting to come together now, and I'm being very gentle. Now I've already preheated my oven to 375, which is where this cake is going to go into. And after I've got that gently combined, I am going to fold in my pumpkin. Now it's 165 mils of pumpkin pie filling, or puree, or call it what you want. It's about a half a can of one of the small cans. And I'm going to fold that gently. Again, for the same reason as we stir gently, we don't want to take all of the light and fluffiness that we've put into our eggs and into our flour mixture. And we don't want to take that away. We do need to make sure that it's combined well, because we're not going to want lumps of pumpkin anywhere. Folding is just basically going around through the middle and then up. And you keep doing that until it's combined. Okay, that looks like it's about combined. All right, now the one thing that I've done already is I've prepared my pan. Now this is a jelly roll pan. We call them here in Canada, or around here, we call them cookie sheets, but actually they are jelly roll pans. Now I've put parchment paper on it. It says wax paper, I didn't have any here, but I put parchment paper on it and I've greased it. Now the thing is, I've left the little edges, and you'll see why that becomes important later, but I've left edges so that I can get it out of here later. Okay, now I'm going to just put all of my batter on the cake pan. Now the important thing with this step is that you get it spread out evenly. If you don't spread it evenly, you are going to get some burnt edges along, or some burnt pieces along the edge, and you're going to get some raw pieces towards the middle. So we want to try and get it spread as evenly as we possibly can. so no big lumps in the middle. There, and that looks pretty good. To the oven it goes. And it goes in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes, but keep an eye on it because you don't want to burn this. You want it, and you don't want it crunchy hard because you're going to roll this later, which is a new trick for you. All right, dishes time. Now we have a cake out of the oven. We know that it's done because we can do the touch test, and it springs back gently, and that's a sponge cake for you. You can also use the toothpick test and make sure that nothing comes off on the toothpick when you stick it in. The next part of this is why you have the extra edges. Next part of this, I've prepared a dish towel with just some icing sugar. Okay, so I've just spread it all over, and I'm going to turn my cake onto that dish towel. Now this step you might want to get some help just because it's hard to get it in there without breaking it. All right, so the next part is the jelly roll part. So I always just get the excess icing sugar onto the cake because more icing sugar is always good. And you simply roll it. You can roll this either way. A normal jelly roll is rolled this way, but you can do it on the long side if you like. And now we put it in the fridge to cool, and we'll be back later with the filling. Okay, welcome back. So now what we've done is we've pulled our cake out of the refrigerator, and if you notice, it should be just curled a little. Now I've pulled it out before I'm ready to use it, just because you don't want it too cold, because otherwise it'll crack and it won't have that nice roll consistency. The next thing we're going to do is make the filling for it. The ingredients are cream cheese, okay, at room temperature. So this has been sitting out for a while just so that it's softened up. 60 mils of soft butter, okay, or margarine. All right, and I'm going to add those two together. Now, I have to admit I cheat a little when I make this because I don't know what I'm going to do with like a small little corner of cream cheese. So I put the whole block of cream cheese in, even though it does say 200 mils. I put it all in. Now I'm going to beat this up to a nice soft consistency. Don't want little bits of butter or little bits of cream cheese. There's no flavor into it. Okay, the next thing I have to add is my cup of icing sugar. Okay, and I have it. And now add this slowly or you'll wear it. So add a little at a time. See how it's very powdered and going to go everywhere? And the last thing I add to this is a teaspoon of vanilla, or not even a teaspoon, 2 mils of vanilla. I only have very little in this bottle, so I'm going to assume that's about 2 mils. And beat that up. Okay, and now comes the fun part. We get to put this all together. So, we grab our jelly roll cake. And roll it very gently because we don't want to break it. And you see it's starting to crack a little. Just have to be very gentle with it. Okay. And we spread this delicious concoction all over. Make sure we get all of that deliciousness. Try and get an even layer on it. Out to the edges so that everybody gets some of the deliciousness. And then we simply roll it back up. Now the recipe does say to decorate it with some extra icing sugar, but because of the icing sugar I had on the towel, I don't really need to add any extra, but you certainly can. Now if you were serving this for a special occasion or something, you might want to cut off the baked edges just to give it a fancier look. But other than that, there's your pumpkin cake roll. Enjoy.